Redhook's flagship beer got its start as a winter seasonal recipe in the mid-'80s. In the early years, Extra Special Bitter earned a reputation as a banana beer and has been brewed continuously since 1987. ESB's caramel malt sweetness and subtle spice and fruit hop flavors quickly defined their style, becoming Seattle's definitive craft beer and inspiring a new wave of craft beers across the country. Nick and I hope to inspire a new wave of craft beer listeners as we embark on our 36th episode of Cold Cans, and we drink a Redhook ESB.
Spill some beer on my laptop.
Did I? That's not the one
okay.
recording. It's
okay.
just a splash. Never hurt anybody.
Ooh. That's not bad.
I like that.
I don't know that I've
reaction.
had this.
It's got a daunting name with Extra Special Bitter, but it is a good first drink.
Yeah.
I feel like the Sam Adams was like bitterier than this. Man, that was a hard word to get out. No?
More
this
bitter?
Is more bitter?
Yeah. For sure. The Sam Adams? Boston Lager?
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
That Sam Adams?
I'm all pissed up. What am I thinking about?
I don't know what you're thinking about.
I don't know either.
You're wrong.
This is for folks listening at home. If it sounds like we're drinking like a weird, like special version of Redhook, we're not. I think this is the flagship ESB lager or Extra Special Bitter Ale. It's the red, like Redhook.
The red of Redhook fame.
Yeah, it's the red
the
label.
Label's red.
Yeah. I got where you were going. I get it. But they have like a green label. What do they got? They got the Longhammer IPA, it's green. American Pale Ale is blue. Extra Special Lager. A lot of special shit. Extra Special Bitter and Extra Special Lager. That's white. Or yellow, I mean. That's the ESL. And the Big Ballard is dark green. And then they also have the Dan Patrick sponsored Audible Ale.
That's right. I remember that all the time. He'd talk about that on his radio show.
Yeah,
good stuff.
They signed a deal.
On his morning radio show. Talking about beer.
Getting you in the mood. Who would listen to a show about beer on their way to work or something like that?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. He had a deal for like 4 years with Redhook.
Yeah.
Which is
and
interesting.
Forever in our brains, apparently.
Yeah. Were you ever like a loyal sports radio listener to anyone?
Yeah.
DP?
Oh, yeah. DP a little bit after college, I think. But in like high school and middle school, I listened to ESPN radio nonstop. I would fall asleep to it every night.
Mike and Mike?
No, Mike and Mike's a morning show. I was a night boy.
Oh, fall asleep to it.
Yeah. So, his name escapes me. Who's the
His
Doug
name
Gottlieb?
escapes me.
His name escapes me. Come back to me, Doug. Where have you gone, Doug? Doug Gottlieb. He had a nightly sports show on ESPN
He's a real
radio.
piece of shit.
He is.
He's on CBS now, though. I follow all these personalities. I think
he's on the
CBS.
up and up. Yeah, he's like slowly built his career after he had a successful college career or whatever. Didn't cut it in the pros.
So he's going to be Sean Hannity soon or something on the TV show and be like
just an entertainer, man.
Superstar,
Just an entertainer.
Yeah. Or maybe like us someday.
Just like
God
us.
willing.
But then Jonathan Coachman took over his slot, and I didn't like that
he's got a radio
as much.
personality of WWF background, WWE.
Because he used to be on the hour after Doug Gottlieb, but then he like moved up and took Gottlieb's spot when Gottlieb went to like daytime stuff. That could have been the CBS movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, suffice to say, I used to listen to sports radio.
I'm sure our listeners are through the moon about ESPN's personalities.
Sports radio fans will know of the beloved show, Debate and Tackle, from student
hosted
radio.
By Nick Patry.
And Matt Flunker.
By Matt Flunker.
Yes.
And then taken over by, what was the guy's name? Like Rod Steele or
it might as well have been.
Man?
Yeah, Reed Magnum.
Who's
now doing some radio work for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball. I saw. He's doing well.
Big Reed, with a name like Reed Magnum,
I know.
you'd hope he's doing well. I bet he's doing some other
name.
work on the side without even having to take on a creative endeavor in that work. He's just legitimately Reed Magnum.
He's a legitimately talented.
Fuck that
radio
guy, all right? fuck
No,
you,
he
Reed
was
Magnum.
good. He
if you're
was
out
good.
there, a big fuck you from the Cold Cans boys.
Come on.
I'm just playing. How's the beer going down?
It's going well.
It's always bad
It's
when
like
we
a
each take
sipping
a drink
beer.
at the same time.
Right,
There's
that's a lot of dead air.
We're not going to edit it out. The listeners can guarantee it. Yeah, it's
It
a
is
good
nice.
sipping
Like, I'm not
beer.
going to chug it. Yeah.
100% barley malt fermented. I was reading their little write-up on their website here, and we read the copy. If you got a copy, we'll watch the copy at the top of the show. And the flavor profile they describe, floral spiciness and slight bitterness. Yet, this is an extra special bitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them leading me on like that.
Yeah, on the label itself, it says Redhook ESB has been continually brewed since 1987. True to the British ESB style, the beer is not extra bitter, despite having the words in its name.
A what?
Redhook ESB balances caramel malt sweetness with subtle spicy and citrusy hop flavors.
Mm-hmm. I don't really get spicy, but the citrusy, like floral element is definitely there.
Yeah, it is florally,
It's
which
good.
I don't really like.
I usually don't either, but this is good with that bitter. Yeah, it's like if you ate a flower, you'd have a bit of bitterness to it. You know, like if you got a flower
I
garnish
have a
from
bit
a fancy.
inness to that flower.
Because you bit into it?
Bit into it.
Yeah, I got it. The other flavor profiles you mentioned, caramel malts, toffee, baked bread. That's another one. Most beers.
Oh, yeah, you said,
baked bread.
would you say banana bread at the beginning?
Yeah,
They called
so
a
it earned your
banana bread
reputation as banana beer.
beer? Oh, banana beer.
I don't know what that means.
I
We
don't
didn't
know
put
either.
the research in.
Yeah, baked bread makes sense, though. If you ever smell someone brewing beer, it's like got that.
Well, that's
kinda
my point. Every
rotten smell
every
to
beer
it.
has that. Yeah, exactly.
Which
Like
so
yeast.
it's not good. Yeah, it's not as good as bread because baked bread smells great.
Yeah, if you
Last
ever
time I
drive by a
checked-
bakery or something and they're pumping out that baked bread, or a Subway, they pump that
Yeah.
shit into the
Yeah, or
sidewalk.
Jimmy John's or something.
Oh, and it's the best. You can't walk by it and not crave it. You be as full as possible, and God, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
You still sporting Subway these days?
no, I don't touch Subway. That fucking meat is just rotten. They serve rotten meat at Subway.
They do.
I don't like their franchise model altogether. They got the Starbucks model, which is just like one on every corner.
We're everywhere,
Motherfucker, you're going to see us and you're going to come into one of these. Versus
They were
like,
the biggest one, right? At a certain point, they
Bigger
had the
than
most
Starbucks?
franchises. Yeah, I think so.
Jesus.
Or bigger than McDonald's for sure. Maybe that's not true anymore.
wow. Well, I could see it being bigger than McDonald's. But the other end of that model is maybe like a Chick-fil-A or something like that, or a Culver's even.
Yeah,
That's like
love Culver's.
only a few locations, but the quality is really high. This model is just like, we'll give you just garbage trash and claim it's fresh and all this. And it is, I guess, for the most part. It's just low quality ingredients.
Right. Yeah, the veggies are usually pretty solid.
I guess. I don't know. I just feel like sick when I eat a Subway sub. I don't feel good.
Okay.
I guess it's because I always
Do you go
order the one that's 2,300 calories.
Yeah.
It's
Do
the
you
only
go
one that tastes
foot-long meatball sub or
Yeah,
some
of course. On wheat.
shit? Yeah.
Save
No,
the
the
waistline.
Oh, okay. So you don't get the cheese bread. By the way, the Subway in Manawa, Wisconsin, is the biggest Subway I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, our small town of 1,200 people has a Subway that's like the size of like a
Could fit the
nursing
entire
home.
town. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's huge.
Yeah, it's
great too.
unbelievable.
That might be one of the best Subways. I've
Don't
been
need
in.
that much dining area though. But I guess it's an event in a small town. It's like going to Subway is kind of
Maybe.
like going out to the thing, and whereas like you go to a Subway in like Seattle or somewhere, it's in and out. There may be
It's
like
like
two
just a counter,
stalls
yeah.
on the counter, and that's it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the franchise model of put one everywhere. I think it's fine for Starbucks because it's just making espresso. Like that's not. I don't know. It's fine to churn all that shit out. You can still make it taste good.
Maybe.
But I don't like the idea of churning out all of this deli meat.
Is it
All
harder to-
so many cold cuts.
Sure.
How can that be
Meat
high
can
quality?
go bad. Yeah, meat can go bad and get you sick. When coffee beans go bad, it's just like bad coffee.
Right. So how can there be a Subway on every fucking corner and all that meat is high quality? Is that
I
what
don't
you're
know,
telling
man.
me?
They're distribution networks. I don't know.
I guess. Anyway,
How's
speaking
the
of
beer?
distribution networks, Redhook is owned by what's
Here
called
it
the
comes.
Craft Brew Alliance. And although the Craft Brew Alliance has the phrase craft brew in its name, it does not meet the Brewers Association definition of a craft brewer, since it exceeds 25% ownership by a non-craft brewer. which is, believe it or not, Anheuser-Busch InBev, which owns approximately 32% of the parent company of Redhook.
As of 2010, they need a little update here.
Yeah,
Who knows what
citations
it is?
needed. Who could you mean by they? How do you know my sources?
Our very secret sources inside the beer industry.
So Redhook is like
By the way, donate to Wikipedia. They're doing a fundraiser drive right now. Keep it ad free.
Jimmy sends me an email every couple of years because I feel like when I was in college, I like donated $5 to Wikipedia because I was
Same. Yeah.
what were we doing?
Well, why not? You all use it all the
There
time.
are other causes to donate to.
Sure, but free information? Free of ads, Joe?
But it's community
What's
sourced.
more powerful than information?
It's community sourced. Who am I donating to? What am I giving?
Server space costs money, Joe.
Server space. I mean, it's high availability, like of a website, and it's one of the most popular websites on the internet. But I don't know. I feel like Wikipedia has other means to generate money, but I guess that's part of what makes them independent and totally like open source, creative. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's get back to the Redhook. Earlier, you were trying to tap into this craft brew.
Oh, yeah. So I was thinking, like, because in some of their copy they got on here. If you got a copy,
we'll
we'll
watch copy.
read the copy. In some of their copy
You know,
here,
from the Tom Green. No, Casey doesn't sound like that. I'm
No.
sorry, Casey.
it was good reference,
you
too. I
dearly.
like it. I've just never seen that movie.
As most of us have done. Or at least haven't seen it in a decade.
Okay, so this says in 1981, Redhook founders Gordon Boker and Paul Shipman had a vision to bring
Paul Shipman?
Paul Shipman, Shipman had a vision to bring shit to Seattle, to bring Seattle a better beer than the light yellow fizzy stuff that was widely available at the time. And then they started the craft
piss.
brewery in 1981. Yeah, it was piss, and now it's alcoholic piss. But I'm thinking, like, all these craft brews that have blown up now, you
Yeah.
got like New Belgium Brewery and Redhook and all this other shit, New Glarus. This all started like in the early 80s or whenever.
Right.
You know, what's the next craft beer?
The next best thing.
The next thing that we can do right now? Is it hummus?
Yeah, I think it's mixing
Is it
together.
bean related?
Oh, the big bean boy is back, and he's here to say.
Fiber and protein are the pooping way. What is it?
I
What
like
can we get in on? What can we quit our
How
corporate jobs in and start brewing?
and then sell to a corporation.
Yes.
Get hired again by AB InBev. I don't know. It's a great question. Like innovation. Why did beer, a thing that humankind has had around since forever? We were talking in the Who Garden episode about the monks being buried in barrels of beer. That was a very confusing story.
I still don't understand it.
But so we've had it for a long time, and then in the 80s, we like innovated. Was it technology driven?
I don't know.
wonder?
Or was it because it had gotten so far the other way of like, Miller Lite is produced in
Right.
million barrel vats and stuff like that. And then it like swung back the other way. So what's swinging back?
Oh,
What's
back to
swinging back?
mass-produced bullshit to
Yeah.
swing back the other way.
Yeah. What's being mass produced right now that we can help swing back?
So instead of beer, some other product.
Is it content? Is content being too widely produced? Too mass produced?
Yeah. Can any two jackasses just start pumping content into the world? That's probably. Well, podcasting is it's a very new industry, but it's kind of one that's constantly evolving. But yeah, what's some established product that has moved into? Oh, you can also look at how like Uber disrupting the taxi industry.
What's the Uber of hummus?
And listeners, chime in on Twitter. What's the Uber of hummus? I think you've very early on answered this question yourself. You would like to shake up the hummus industry.
I want nothing more. And in so doing, shake up the guts of people everywhere.
You don't want to shake up those guts. You want to leave those guts
I want
solid.
people shitting on my ideas.
Did I tell you I had a kombucha the other day?
No, you didn't.
I
How
had
was
one
it?
at work. They were like there was a sample guy, and I was able to secure a free bottle of
Whoa.
kombucha. Yeah,
Specially curated booch. What
I-
brand?
I can't remember.
A
It
better
was-
brand of booch makes a better gut butter.
I thought you were going to say better butt butter.
Butt butter. Yeah.
Which is gross to think about. I don't remember what the brand was, but the booch didn't taste very good. Kind of has that
That's the point.
vinegary, the vinegary shit thing, and I didn't feel very well as I was drinking it. And I drank the mother's milk at the bottom or whatever it's called. What's it called?
It's called. I think it's like a SCOBY residue or Scooby, which stands for something symbiotic culture of some shit. I don't know.
It's the Scooby Dooby residue, and it tasted terrible. It was, I don't know. It was like I was swallowing down an oyster or something.
Yeah, it is like that. It's nice though.
I'm out on the booch again.
I
didn't feel well as I drank it.
Think about it. It's all about mind power too, Joe. It's about thinking you're doing something healthy for yourself. If you believe it's healthy, your health will improve.
But if you're applying that, why not to apply it to something cheap? Why apply it to something that costs $6 for a fucking bottle?
It's the world
of
we
it?
live in.
Branding, baby.
Branding, yeah.
A better brand of
Tell
booch
me
makes a butt butter better.
By the way, for listeners out there, I know some will be disappointed that I didn't know the actual acronym. It's symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, as one would expect.
SCBY.
SCOBY.
Scoby.
They put the O in there
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
so they can say it.
Coming back to the symbiotic culture of you and I and our beer drinking escapades, how is the middle half of this beer going down?
It's good. I do like it. I think it is a sipper. Like lately in episodes, I've been a little stressed out and I've been pounding these in the first 10 minutes of the episode.
Sure.
But this one, I don't need to. I feel good.
It is. Yeah, I like the description of it being a sipping beer. Sippability. Hey, I think we have a new metric. What are all our metrics? We have sessionability. We have value. Value and sessionability are two big ones that we stress here. And they're our highest values.
The burpiness?
Yeah, the burpiness meter. And then now we have sippability. So this is high sippability, less chuggability. There's a direct inverse relationship from one another.
But what do you think of sessionability with sippability?
Well, I think there's some correlation, not necessarily some causation. I think that something likely would be high session. Maybe the inverse is sippability and sessionability rather than sippability and chuggability. Because if something has high sessionability, we're saying that you can drink 20 of these fuckers, drive them down the gullet.
It's either if you mean that, or could you drink this for a 6-hour tailgate? Could you drink Redhook ESBs? Could you put down like 8 of them?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't feel good.
Okay.
So this, I think, has poor sessionability, high sippability.
Sure.
We're going to have to analyze this every time. The sip or sesh. What do you think?
Sip or sesh?
I think
of course it's a sip.
This is, of course, a sip because we invented it based on this. So high sippability, usually our beers that are high sippability typically sit in the middle of our rankings, I feel like. I really do.
Okay.
I really feel like it.
Do you feel it or do you think it, Joe?
I feel it and I think it into being.
Let's talk grammar and word choice.
Yeah, if I could edit that back, I would just say think it into being, but I'm fucked up. Hey, one thing I wanted to talk about on the website, they're talking about the specifications. This beer, the extra special bitter, has 13.3 degrees of original gravity and 2.5 of finishing gravity. Now,
what does it mean?
You may ask. Well, I'll tell you what it means, you stupid motherfucker. Gravity, in the context of fermenting alcoholic beverages, refers to the specific gravity or relative density compared to water. So, basically what happens is it depends on the sugar content. So during alcohol fermentation, yeast converts sugars into carbon dioxide and alcohol. The decline in the sugar content and the presence of ethanol, which is appreciably less dense than water, drop the density of the thing that we're talking about. So there is something where a high degree of original density before fermentation and a finished density, is that the terminology? Yeah, finishing density means something. But basically, There's the difference between the original gravity and the final gravity is an indication of how much sugar has been turned into alcohol. So the bigger the difference, the greater amount of alcohol present, and hence the stronger the beer. So strong beers are sometimes referred to as high gravity beers, and session or small beers are called low gravity beers.
So a high gravity beer walks on water, like Jesus.
Yeah, high gravity. Don't you feel like you can walk on water after a lot of high gravities?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can walk on water behind the wheel after a couple high gravity beers.
Because I'll put my pickup in the lake. Tell you what. Another beer I wanted to mention, by the way, that they have. I went to their brew lab. They have this thing. I forgot we were going to bring this up. So Redhook has a brew lab.
You segued perfectly into it. And then revealed how the sausage is made to the listeners.
The brew lab.
Yeah. Hey,
just right up
what's
the street.
that?
Thanks, Joe. Well, the brew lab is this beautiful building right up the street from the studio, actually. Redhook took over this old building and turned it into their brew lab where they're just going to do like shit ton of beers, like small brew beers, and sell them to Amazon employees who sit at large wooden tables with their thick-rimmed glasses on.
That's what Seattle does. Come to the trough.
Yeah. By the way, I am not impressed by the bathroom situation at the brew lab. Unless I didn't see all the bathrooms available, there was only one men's bathroom with 2 urinals and 1 toilet.
Well, usually you have in Seattle, we're shifting to any gender bathroom.
That would have been nice. Like Optimism Brewery has the best bathrooms in Seattle.
Yeah, we should tell the listeners this. There's this giant ass brewery in Seattle, and to sort of, and I love this, the idea of doing any gender bathroom to make everybody feel comfortable with going wherever they want to go is instead of it being like a bunch of individual bathrooms that each close the door, like a unisex bathroom, it's a big space with like a shitload of like urinal stall things, like, and men and women both go into these places, and then you both come out and you do a communal washing of the hands ritual. And
a kiss on the cheek.
Yep, a kiss is required before you can leave. And that's where the fabric, when you bring Midwest people into it, the fabric breaks down. But it sounds like Redhook doesn't meet the standards, the progressive nature.
No, yeah.
Of Optimism.
I don't know if that description of Optimism's bathrooms. So one side is urinals that are behind a closed door. It's just one urinal.
That? Yeah.
Well, you might kind of make it sound like they are all urinals.
Oh, no, it's not what I meant.
The women are pissing in the urinals.
Some of them
they give you
urinals.
A special funnel thing. No, and then the other side.
How would you imagine that funnel would work?
That's a thing. I've seen it on a TV show.
What?
Where someone's pretending
to be
over
the whole.
Yeah, it's just like it forms a seal like between your thighs essentially,
okay.
and then
let's pass.
Okay.
And they sanitize it on the way out.
Right. Well, the beer sanitizes it.
Sure.
On the way out of you. And then on the other side, there's toilets. So if you got to do your business or you're a sit-down person.
We're getting off the rails a little bit, though.
Sure.
Redhook, you haven't even talked about the brew lab yet. But
well, the bathrooms are bad.
The
bathrooms are bad. And they're the ones, too, where you open the door and you're, like, looking at a penis already. Because the urinals, like, aren't far enough away from the door. Mm-hmm. So you walk in and the guy's just standing there. But anyway, that's the one downside. I went in there once. And it is a big, beautiful open space, and they have a front patio and a back patio. That would be beautiful in the summertime, but now it's a little cold and rainy. But let's not focus on the weather. But anyway, the beer I had there was called Soda Popinski's Barrel Aged Red.
It sounds like something that our good friend Casey Ryerson would have came up with in the hometown of Manawa.
Yes, it stuck out to me immediately, and it's a 12% ABV beer.
Ooh, doggy.
Yeah.
High gravity,
55
baby.
IBU. It is a hoppy Northwest-style red ale with a deep, red, rich body. Whoa. A lot of adjectives there.
That's how I describe my ex-wife. Why I met her. And then afterwards, I won't say something. This guy's describing his ex-wife before he met her with such adjectives, and then
but now, okay.
Then you just keep going. 12% is high sipability.
Malt presence. Barrel aging brings out the complex caramel notes.
Oh, everything.
Everything
complex caramel. High sipability, low
sessionability.
Can I
talk about sea salt caramel, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
How bullshit it is.
Hey, get on that soapbox.
Why does it all have to have sea salt in it? It's too salty. I want something sweet.
Well, you could get caramel anywhere. It's a specific combination. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. You wouldn't go, what's the deal? I want chocolate or I want peanut butter.
You show me a place I can buy just caramel these days, and I'll give you a little kiss somewhere. Everything you see is sea salt caramel.
You can buy just
It's
caramel.
had its time. It's done.
You can buy caramel at the grocery store.
No.
You're just in Seattle. You're in a specific
No, I see it
bubble
everywhere.
of sea salt.
Van
and
de Waals
caramel.
back in Appleton, Wisconsin is not innocent here. Though they make delicious fudge, by the way.
Well, you could scrape the sea salt off the caramel if you so desire.
Not the same. It draws moisture out of the caramel.
You can get the little square, like cube packages of caramel, right?
Oh,
Remember,
like that you
things?
melt for a caramel apple?
Sure.
Could do that.
They're
They're
that's the
untainted.
last bastion of.
The last
Pretty
great
soon.
bastion. Yes.
Pretty soon they'll be sea salt themselves, and you'll be screaming from the.
I'll break
as
down
the-
in a grocery store.
Yeah, the shot pans out way into the distance of you looking up and screaming. And
Sea salt!
I don't know. I really like sea salt and caramel. I think
Well,
it's a
fuck
good
you.
addition. I think we don't need to be just eating caramel anymore, or just eating sea salt for that matter.
Okay.
All right, so let's get back to the beer. I'm nearing the end. You finished it, or no, you didn't finish.
No.
You slammed it down like you finished it. I guess it was for effect when you were doing the Charlton Heston.
Part of the bit, yeah.
Sea salt is people. So, all right, let's see. So we talked about Redhook. I think that it's strange to me. I want to continue to touch on this, that their flagship beer is an extra special bitter ale versus some sort of just very simple lager or something like that.
Is there any background to that?
No, like I said, so this started as a winter seasonal recipe. So like you said, in the mid-'80s, they were doing some sort of seasonals. They still do winter seasonals and things like that. And then just locked on something that was excellent, and it is excellent, and then kind of morphed that, I guess, into the flagship nature of it, which is pretty cool. It started, I guess, small, and Redhook has obviously done very well. It's distributed everywhere. People can go find this.
Yeah.
And their flagship is just something that was the result of experimentation, which I think I think gives some credence to its claim of still being a craft beer, because like you can't say that this was mass-produced bullshit when in the 80s they introduced it as a seasonal. So I actually really like that. I think that gives this a bump. I like Redhook. I have no problems with them as a brewery.
Yeah, Redhook it's brewed in New Hampshire though now. I see.
Yeah. Well,
What's this I see
it
about
has
New
its
Hampshire?
dual locations, Seattle and Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Headquartered here in Seattle. Beer brewery operations are all still here in Woodinville, Washington, though. But
Oh, really?
oh no, not all of them. Yeah, you're right. They're split between Woodinville, Washington, and Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So headquarters are here. I don't know, probably East Coast presence, getting a foothold out there.
Yeah, and distribution's much easier, I'm sure.
Sure. So that's no big deal.
All right.
I really like Redhook. I really like Woodinville, where it's headquartered. If anybody's out in the Seattle area, go to Woodinville, do the Redhook tour, but then you can go drink fucking great wine anywhere. It's a fun place to go out, a little suburb of Seattle. I don't know. This is all just like, it's not too, you know how like when we were drinking Tecate, we were like, God, this is like a middle of the road beer. They're not trying anything. Milwaukee's Best is kind of the same thing. This is like a really like simple sort of standard beer that gets it right versus being plain. It's just like everything is fucking super solid, sort of like Sessions Lager was.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed by it.
I like it too. It's great sippability. I needed a sipping beer right now.
You
I would have
didn't
gone
want
off the
Session.
rails if it would have been a session ability. Let's go to the Beer Advocate score, Joe.
Okay.
We're looking at a 3.41 out of 5, which translates to okay.
Yeah. See, it's what it is. It's right there in like that comfortable scale.
I want to read this first review for you, by the way.
Sure.
Mincemeat, MINTZMEET. Not what you were thinking, was it?
No, I was thinking slap chop, and I was thinking it.
But 1 week ago, November 21st, 27.
I was thinking
oh,
corned
shit, I
beef
should say the
hash.
date.
Oh shit! Yeah, don't say it. We're making that.
Okay.
I'm glad I interrupted with the corned beef hash joke.
That's what I basically said. Okay, their review is, smells a bit like cat. Doesn't take like it, thankfully. I think they meant taste like it. Doesn't taste like it, thankfully. Nice, wholesome maltiness, not very hoppy, not too bitter, but great flavor, caramel flavor, full body. So
Full-bodied redhead. That's what I saw on my ex-wife. Yeah.
And now our full body's red with blood.
Oh, boy.
That's what I thought you were going for before, because it said a deep red body.
No.
I was like, oh, she's like deep
I thought
underground.
you said full-bodied redhead. And I was like, oh,
no.
What are we watching, an episode of Mad Men or something?
Oh, that John. What I wouldn't do. Yeah, a deep red, rich body.
Oh, okay. So my joke
she
really
was
made
rich.
no sense.
So that's it. Yeah, he
rich.
kills her. Well, they're still married. So
Sure.
he gets the...
Takes out some life insurance.
Sure.
Kills her, inherits her fortune.
Right.
And it's
Well, then you wouldn't even need life insurance. You just don't sign a prenup.
Oh, yeah,
Then
sure.
you just get her money.
Yeah. Okay, I like it.
Because I'm infertile, so there's no children involved. He is, I mean, not me. Not me. He,
Okay,
the guy.
Okay. It's spiking the levels a little bit.
I thought it was levels aren't spiking as my sperm count.
All
right.
And it hits it out of the park. All right. Let's get to the mailbag, shall we? Shall we? Let's get to the mailbag. If you believe the mailbag
God damn it.
is up to date, you might be a redneck. All right.
You might be Redhook.
The first thing I want, it's actually a personal mailbag. Oh, Redhook. God damn it.
If you think that brewing beer is extra special, you might be Redhook.
Good thing that you were leaning halfway across the room to deliver that one.
That's part of it.
Yeah, it's good. First mailbag we have is delivered in person from the youngest member of Cold Cams Nation's mother, Malia. And she told me in person that she has some disagreements with some of the rankings, a sentiment that you share. You believe that we're a little misranked, and she very much, she very much 100 fire.
And me on Google Plus.
Folks, you can unsubscribe from the other social media. We're all on Google Plus, baby. She's excited. She had some thoughts on some of the beers that were misranked, and it got us thinking. Folks, get at us. Find us on Google Plus, and we're going to put a little poll out there. We're going to leave it out there for a while, and you can tell us which beers you think are the most misranked.
Yeah.
And come back to us, and we will do a power hour. We've talked about it on the show before, but the idea is we're going to do a 60-minute episode, 10 minutes apiece. Very special guests will be on the episode. Lots of fun, lots of jokes, gags, spills, and bits that you come to expect. And we'll redo the rankings. 6 beers. So let us know. Reach us on Snapchat. Reach us on Twitter. Half you fucking know us. Just message us on Messenger or something like that. And tell us your top 6 beers you think are misranked, or just the top beers in general you think are misranked.
Yeah.
We're going to compile that list, and then, maybe we'll weight it with our own opinions because we have a couple we feel strongly about. And we will drink those 6 beers again and re-rank them, and we'll drink them in order over the course of an hour. So might tail off at the end. The old cognizant.
There might be a few phone calls placed.
Yes. And
some might be to emergency services.
And you're going to hear it all on Cold Cans, baby.
You've never heard a stomach pumped live before like this.
All right. So that's the mailbag. Should we get to the rankings?
The rankings.
I'm no longer allowed, now that we're 30 some odd episodes in, to read all the rankings T to T. So how about we just kind of I really like the idea of sectioning the beers.
Tier it up.
So my first tier is the premiums, the cream of the crop.
Tier the beer.
So well done. So I'm going to start at the top. Actually, no, I'm going to start at the tip. Or the taint, sorry. Going way back to that grimy old taint. And I'm going to say my first beer is the The swill. It's not even the swill. This is the stuff that's like, it's radio. How about the radioactive tier? I got 3 beers in the radioactive tier.
Did you hear about those playing cards in Russia that were found to have radioactive material on them?
No.
People think it's a way to like game casinos and stuff.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so this is the Russian radioactive tier. Now, these 3 beers have no ties to Russia. And it's not your father's Mountain Ale, O'Doul's, and Smirnoff. So those would be down the radioactive tier. The next tier I would describe as the mass market sort of bullshit tier. This is just the forgettables, the deplorables. That's what this tier is. And that is the range from Molson.
Barrel of deplorables.
That's the range, from Olympia up to Molson. So every beer in between there. A lot of like Miller 64, shit like that. And then we kind of have like this wild card tier, and I think this is where a lot of the re-ranking is gonna come in. And I would legitimately call this tier, and this is the biggest one we have so far. This one is from Chevenufer Hefeweizen Grapefruit beer, all the way, in my opinion, up to up to Deschutes Swivelhead Red. So Deschutes Swivelhead Red and Chevenufer Hefeweizen is like this is the tier we fucked up. So we have the radioactive tier, we have the mass market deplorables tier, and then we have the wild card tier that probably our power hour is going to hit the most. Mm-hmm. And so that is from Chevenufer Hefeweizen all the way up to Deschutes Swivelhead Red. And folks, you can go to coldcanspodcast.com/rankings and see all these yourself. And then
up to the minute rankings.
Yeah, sometimes we get it within the week after the episode's released. We update. And then we have the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. And I'll read that. And that is Old Rasputin, Roderbach Grand Cru, Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale, Spotted Cow, Session Premium Lager, and Lagunitas Nighttime Ale. So the question I would Mike Poser to you is, are we in the...
If I could write you a song to make you fall in love, I would already have you up under my arms. I used to all of my tricks. I hope that you like this, but you probably won't. You think you're cooler than me.
So, do you think this is in the beer tier of creme de la creme, cream of the crop? Is it in wild card territory? Is it in mass market bullshit, deplorables? Or is it in Russian radioactive?
God, it might be just above the wild card rank grouping. Mama, I have suddenly found a reason to care about the rankings. These tiers have got me all excited.
Almost got you in tears.
Hey now. God, I can't put this above. God, maybe I can.
What tier? What beer tier? You gotta let the listeners into the twisted mind. Hey, spit beer all over your laptop. This thing is soaked. Let us into the twisted mind of Nick Patry.
You don't want to go there. There's no coming back. That's when my childhood dog died. He listened to me too much.
Oh.
He ran into the woods, never came back.
Just like Dad.
Hey, how dare you? He's a loyal listener.
Mitch Patry's a good man. He didn't run into the woods.
Love you, Dad.
What tier? So remember, the tiers are cream of the crop, wild card, deplorables, Russian radioactive.
I don't like where Elysian Night Owl is. I know I shouldn't just compare it to a beer, but this is better than Rodenbach Grand Cru.
Whoa! So you're in cream of the crop land, right?
Yeah.
So that was all I was asking you to do, but you're actually slotting it. So I've found real vigor. Remember a couple episodes ago, I was like, we got to find a way to get you back into the rankings.
Get me virile again, Joe.
Well, we know that's not going to happen, but we piqued your interest. You're fully torqued, and so you're in cream of the crop land, all right? And you're saying this is better than Rodenbach Grand Cru. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure.
So you have it between Elysian Night Owl and Rodenbach Grand Cru. I wasn't going to go that high up. I was going to go bottom of cream of the crop, but I was in the same tier territory as you, the same TT, if you will.
Territory.
The beer tier territory. The BTT.
We're beer, we're tier. Get used to it.
The Cold Cans boys are a beer and they're tier. Okay, so you have it above Rodenbach Grand Cru. God, remember when we drank that Rodenbach Grand Cru? We were sitting in a conference room.
And we're like, fuck Jeff Allworth.
Yeah, well, still fuck him. He bailed on us the last second. Fuck you, Jeff. Fuck you, Reed Magnum, and fuck you, Jeff Allworth. All right. And I really I still fucking love that beer. So I can't put this ahead of it, but
Have you had it since we had it that day?
no. Okay.
If you'll remember, Joe, that was an unseasonably warm day in Seattle.
It's true, and we were all fucked up.
Yeah, it was very refreshing that day.
But that says something to that. It's
true.
fit the context well. Maybe
It's
that's
true.
random, but I would have put it ahead of Old Rasputin, which I really liked and sort of appreciated, but it just doesn't
That's
stand
like
out to me.
too sippable almost.
Yeah,
That's
very,
like
maybe
a
the
whiskey.
most sippable
Yeah.
of all our beers. So I'm actually comfortable. I'm only one spot away. I'll go with what you're talking about. So I put it. So this would be our new fifth beer. This is Redhook ESB. Is going to slot into the fifth beer.
Okay.
Do we have any parting words for the listeners while they think about getting back at us on those 6 episodes?
If you guys have any hummus ideas,
Oh boy.
just hit up the mailbag. I think we got legs to this thing. Craft beer, craft hummus. I'm thinking of putting a little, hey, why not put the beer in the hummus, huh? Oh, some hops. Chop up some hops. Don't mix them in. The Cold Cans podcast is recorded in the Overcast room at Cloud Studios in Seattle, Washington. Visit cloudstudiosseattle.com